fresh off my last video, feeling pumped as because I finally broke 1,000 views on a YouTube video. Plus I also gained like over 200 subscribers from it, so thank you God. I did not expect it to pop off like that, holy shit. I want to thank everybody that watched it and liked it, enough so that you subscribe. Thank you for being sad. I mean, one of my fears when putting it up on the internet, to be honest, was that people may think it is tone deaf as fuck. But I'm glad to say that from the overwhelmingly positive response I've gotten, I can tell that I gave a W take. I was gifted with a tongue of... But you know what? I was not ready for this sudden fame. I was not expecting to blow up like that. Unfortunately, I have to say that I was reading all the comments on that video and... Bro, I let it get to my head, bro. Both the good and the bad. Part of me is telling me to walk away from it and let it pass, but I can't. I live for this tea. Bro, I wanted to make my next video about my childhood obsession with dinosaurs or my love for Wu-Tang, but now I can't escape the desire to dig into the messiness in these comments. So well, this video is gonna be me going through some takes, either for or against my stance in the video. I'm trying to see if I can clock these bitches or I've let these bitches clock me. But before we get into this, for the sake of thoroughness, let's just specify what cultural appropriation is, alright? To avoid confusion. Cultural appropriation occurs when dominant cultures adopt elements of minority cultures without understanding, respecting, or giving proper credit, often in a way that's disrespectful or exploitative. Got it? Let's get into it. Alright, firstly, we got bro here that says, I don't get the whole cultural appropriation hate. Surely that's the first step towards accepting the culture you're stealing from. It's not coming from a place of hate, it's coming from deep-rooted admiration for the culture you're copying. And how did you not flip it to mention Wu-Tang Clan? Okay, I see we're already starting off juicy. Essentially, bro is saying cultural appropriation is a necessary starting point for outsiders to get involved with the culture. It comes from a place of love, and so this shouldn't be a problem. But according to how we already defined cultural appropriation, we should know there's a difference between respectful, understanding appreciation, and a more careless, irreverent appropriation. You can quote-unquote copy a culture, i.e. use some of its elements, but do it in a way that is respectful and very obviously gives credit that is due. With that being said though, it is true that sometimes the line between appreciation and appropriation is blurry, so how do we actually separate the two definitively? I don't know, bro. It's a case-by-case thing. Just don't be corny and weird, man. Let's be real. 50% of cultural appropriation is just people being weird as fuck. I'm gonna use an Asian-centric example here now. It's like weeaboos and Koreaboos in the Western world, right? Who get all their information on East Asian culture from the shows and anime that they watch. They do a couple Duolingo lessons and now they want to live here and be one of us because they think it's all glitter and sparkles. But bro, it's not. You're weird. We appreciate the love, but stay in your lane. You don't get the nuance, bruh. On the other hand, an example of something some people would say is appropriation, but I think it's appreciation and it's actually dope as fuck is, well, the aforementioned Wu-Tang Clan. Yo, if you can take my cultural element and make something as unique and as beautiful as 36 Chambers, I don't care if some people say it's offensive, bro. Do all the quote-unquote appropriating you want. Were they weird for their time? Maybe, but it sure as hell wasn't lame. It's ill. And there's just something so endearing about their sound and their come-up. The way they weave the kung fu flick motive into their storytelling and shit is masterful. Bro, their tongues are the swords and they are master swordsmen. Therefore, they're the best MCs from the slums of Shaolin. It makes sense. RZA is a genius. Now this actually brings me to the second comment that asked, would Nicki Minaj wearing Japanese-inspired bass attire? Well, I already addressed it in a reply, but you know what? Let me probe a little deeper into this topic. Firstly, no Asian that has something to do with their lives finds shit like this offensive, alright? Now, I can't speak for every single Asian, but from what I can see, the general policy is that we're cool with our culture being wrapped like this by outsiders. In fact, we welcome it with open arms. Like, for example, right, I'm in a fully Chinese family, and whenever my dad sees a video of some white girl speaking Chinese, he treats it like it's the freaking second coming of Christ, trying to force me to see the video like, chill bro, it's not that serious. Now, the observation I want to point out here is that this is kinda in contrast to the black community where I believe, okay, from my limited POV, we typically see a more defensive stance and a higher need to gatekeep shit. Now, my hypothesis on why there's more gatekeeping generally coming from them is that well, the stakes are higher for black folks because how many times have we seen black cultural elements get used by the color in power and black folks get little to no credit from it? Like, for example, Elvis Presley's cover of Hound Dog became a massive hit in the mainstream market, while the original artist was left mostly in obscurity. White celebrities wear black hair and audiences think it's a hip, cool style. But when black folks wear it in their workplace now, they face discrimination by people calling it untidy and unprofessional. What the I mean, I don't know why I got so heated there. I ain't never personally witnessed any of these situations. I'm just getting it on the internet. I'm a brainwashed woke leftist. But anyways, to bring this back to the main point that I want to make, I guess the threshold for offensiveness for a social group also sort of plays a part in what is deemed acceptable and unacceptable to do. Just my 2 cents on the matter. Anyways, let's move on. This person says, great video, dude. Don't go outside on May 18th, 2027. Wait. Help. This commenter says, our style is a part of our culture much like yours, so don't play dumb, please. We're not going to get into that, but you brought it up. I roll emoji. Yeah, they got me on that one. Let me try to clarify what I was trying to say in that moment. When I mentioned fashion, I was thinking mostly streetwear, right? So oversized shirts, baggy jeans, I don't know, sneakers as well. I wasn't exactly thinking ethnic costumes like, say, a dashiki or head wraps, etc. So at that point, my logic was like, yeah, there's no way an entire ethnicity is going to claim a shirt and jeans, right? But you know what? I was lazy in that moment and didn't clarify the scope of what I was trying to say, so it ended up sounding kind of ambiguous and dismissive of the full array of black styles, so yeah, my mistake. Alright, 5th comment. Reminded that when talking about Asia, it's mostly just East Asia and generally the upper parts of Asia. Never mind the other Asian countries, they are different. Yeah, they got me on this one too. I should have specified East Asia to Southeast Asia because Asia is hella big and diverse as fuck. Usually when we're talking about topics of Asia, we tend to neglect every other Asia that doesn't look like or sound like the kawaii des, sarang hei or ni hao people. And I felt like I could have done a better job in including them or at least acknowledging them at that moment. I mean, this dude says I am Kazakh and I do not remember that. And that is very fair. So my fault. I should have done better in acknowledging our different experiences. Next commenter says, America is the most racist country motherfuckers when they find out about Asia as a whole. Sure, I guess, but that's literally a country versus a continent. You know what? At first I was gonna say, nah, it's not that bad because I've personally never heard of a lynching here, you know what I'm saying? Or 400 years of slavery. But then I thought about it for a second and for sure this comment is valid. However, problematic racism here in Asia isn't necessarily just targeted towards black people. We've been hating on one another for God knows how long. In virtually every part of Asia, there's some form of Asian on Asian hate, and there are many instances of it escalating to full-out persecution of a specific ethnic group. Straight up genocide, if you know what I'm talking about. On and off for whatever fucking reason, people just find a reason to hate, bro. So yeah, Asia, pretty damn racist, but so is literally everywhere else on earth, so there's no point in comparing. Bro, how do we get here? The original video is literally just about cultural appropriation and nothing of bigotry and shit. Alright, I have time for one more, so I want to address an unintended consequence from the last video, which is that I think I may have scared a few people away from Singapore. Listen, even though I stand by what I said about there being ignorance here, it's not that bad, alright? I mean, we got racial harmony here, like, you're not gonna get attacked on the street with a racial slur. Most people are nice here. I mean, I think... Come on, guys. Please come to Singapore and check it out for yourself. We have zero tolerance for racism. We jail people for anything, racism included. We make sure everybody is educated on foreign matters and cultural sensitivity. It's a great country with little to no problem. Currently recording this in an interrogation cell. My location is unclear. I just wanted to say thank you for watching this to the end. There were some comments I didn't include either because they cooked too hard for me to add anything substantial to it, or they were just plain f***ing stupid and a commenter has the comprehension abilities of a 10-year-old. You know who you f***ing are. Thanks for your watch times anyways, you sorry excuse for functioning human beings. Get a fucking education. And with that being said, I'll see the rest of you lovely people again sometime soon.